Well, hello everyone. Here's what we are working with per se. These are this is currently inside out. Now, what I find strange about this, as you can see here, this is marked 100% cotton. This is parachute material. This is not cotton. This is polyester. This is cotton. This is definitely cotton. The outside of this bag is definitely polyester. And yet when you purchase it, here's the little pocket. When you purchase it, it is sold to you as 100% cotton, which it is not. Bad packaging, Joanne's, but it looks even worse with this swishy stuff on the outside, and it's sold with the swishy stuff on the outside, which makes me think that they want you to put the swishy stuff on the outside. So why is this in the dyeing department? No one knows, least of all me. Anyway, it's very rumply, and in the, oh good lord, there goes one of my clips. In the spirit of Wabi-Sabi in Japan, which is that like things have not reached their full potential yet, they're just in a different state of affairs. I don't want to waste this, so I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start up here so I can see how terribly this will go. I'm going to use my little clippy dippies. I'm sure you could use pins. I use clips because I don't poke myself with them. I cannot be trusted. Don't have the proprioceptive abilities for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this as even as possible because it's two completely different and totally unrelated fabric styles. I hate it. I hate the design of it, but I don't want to waste it. And then I made it even worse because I could have just donated it before that I ever did that to them. But I threw them in the indigo because I was trying to see if I could use up the dye bath. Not only did I not use up the dye bath, but now I have two ugly bags that I have to fix. So I thought I'd bring you on the journey of me attempting to make these into something less horrible. If you hear thundering, it's the cats. They've decided that now is the time to kill one another. So what I'm going to do is go around, make this as even as I possibly can, and then I can see a cat foot coming from under the door. Frantically scrabbling, trying to get into me. I am not... It's okay that I'm alone in here, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to try and pin this from the edge as crisply as I can. It's obviously going to go cuckoo bananas as soon as I do anything to it. But I thought that the first thing I would try to do is a blanket stitch around the outsides of the handly bit with the intention of it looking pretty on this side. So I'm going to use like rainbow sashiko thread on here. And then once we finish that, I'll get all these clipped down, I guess, and it will be so awkward and weird to sew because I didn't ever want to sew on this. When I bought it on the online order, it said 100% cotton. So I went with that. Lies. Lies, Joanne's Fabrics. So I'm going to pin this, or clip it, not pin it, because as I said, I don't like pins. And we will attempt to get some sashiko going on this. I guess it would be, well, it's not boro yet. We haven't covered anything with another piece of fabric. But I wanted to take you on this journey of me trying to improve these bags into something that I don't despise. Because at the moment, not a huge fan of these weird, shapeless sacks. We have two of them, even better, so we can compare one done and one not. Anyway, thanks for coming on this exciting journey with me. I'm going to get this all pinned up and hopefully show you as I'm going along. We'll see how much I remember to film. But I wanted to add this to our Exploring Imperfection series because this is definitely imperfect. It's imperfect in many ways, including the fact that I didn't actually mordant any of these, the two giant bags. Now that I'm thinking about it, they just went straight in. Well, good for them. They made it out. Anyway, let's see what we can make of these and see if we can make them a little better. Okay, if anyone would like to not at me, including my grandma's ghost, for not ironing this, which I could do, sure, if this was 100% cotton, this looks like it will burn up like the Hindenburg if I try to iron it or get it even a little hot. I'm not going to set this on fire, but I could call your bluff and I could set this on fire. And I guarantee you that this would not be okay with being ironed. It is not 100% cotton. It sits on a throne of lies. But I got this down to like a nice edge where I can see it. I think I'm literally going to have to work in chunks this small. And that's how this is going to go down. But there is the beginning. That is in fact a straight edge. So I guess like as I do each one, I'll just like move a clip up. Do I have more clips than this? Maybe, but not in my general vicinity. So we're going with it. Anyway, I will let you know how this goes. I already have a bunch of Sashiko thread hanging by my desk. Okay, we're good. Let's go see how this works out. Okay, so typically I like to work this stitch right to left, but I've pinned it this way, and it seems worse to repin all that than it does to just work on it. And I'm trying a new technique. I'm trying to stand whilst stitching. Now, what I'm feeling for is, you can almost see it. You could see the little selvage edge hiding there, right there. It aligns with my needle. You can see the shadow. It like stops there at the needle. I'm going to try to only pierce through the two layers. I don't want to go, well, if I went below it, would it keep it from collapsing? It would keep the stitch width even. Sorry if this is having trouble focusing. I'm doing my best. If I put it under, it could potentially fold the entire thing down, structurally speaking, because there's a soft edge. So if you put a tight blanket stitch, it can go whoop and just fold it over. But if I put it through the hardest edge, I think it shouldn't go through it or go foldy. So I'm going to go just above that little edge there and start just a normal blanket stitch. So I'm not even sashikoing at this point. I'm just trying to repair this dumb bag with some blanket stitch. And when we go through the second time, we pull up the little edge. And yes, it did not collapse it. Very clever, Erica. Deductive reasoning strikes again for the win. I want to get as close as I can to that bottom edge, so I maximize the size of the stitch for stability purposes. But I also don't want to go under it and collapse the whole edge. Okay, I'm going to just scoot this rather than get rid of it. It's very slippery, this cotton, as it so generously is calling itself. I don't believe you, Joanne's. Your packaging sits on a throne of lies. Nowhere on any of the packaging did it say anything about anything other than cotton. And if someone can prove to me that this parachute material is cotton, I will eat a book. And apparently one on what material looks like, because I would be very wrong if this was not cotton. So, oop, got a little too far away on that one. Well, that's perfection from imperfection. We're just gonna let that weirdly wide stitch ride, because I don't want to do these every 2 millimeters, maybe 3, around the entire outside. However, I do think that this is improving the overall look of this dumb bag. Okay, I'm just gonna have to be, it's because I'm standing also. I have never ever stitched standing. My God, the cat is screaming like literally a ghost has him by the tail. I have never actually stitched standing before, which maybe everybody else has, but I apparently have not. And so I am having trouble making sure I'm getting really even stitches, which is kind of funny. Okay, so this is how I'm going to go around. Oh, no, no, no. Absolutely not. Don't even, that's not an option. Thank you. We don't accept that. I don't like it and I won't respond to it. Okay, so that's where we're at with our little blanket stitch. It looks pretty tidy on the back. I'm willing to deal with that. All right, well, I'm going to go around. At least it stands out on the blue like it would on indigo fabric. So that we did right. All right, well, I will see you when I've got a bit more of this done so we can take a look at how it's going together. See you in a bit. Okay, so here is where I'm at, and I wanted to walk you through my process. Now, in my mind, and you can tell me if I'm wrong about this if you'd like, but if I'm in my mind, my idea is that working from the smallest point to the largest and me clipping it like this the entire time that I did this blanket stitch and just like moving it down clip by clip, that it would make the edges more even and sturdy, and it did. So you can see the difference. Like this one's just kind of laying nicely because it has some firm outer edge, whereas this one still looks kind of a mess and rather floppy. So this did improve the bag already. What I'm thinking now is that I will take my chalk pen and I will take a stencil here, and I will stencil some stuff onto this side just to see where I get, see if I can keep it even-esque, since this is very stretchy cotton, as well as this having a bunch of extra. My goal is to work from the small side to the large side, because if you work big to small, there's a lot less space that can account for all of this extra give of the non-cottony fabric. So my goal, I think, since this worked so nicely and made this so nice and flat, if not workable, we'll see how all of that comes out when it gets pinned down. And you can see my just little running stitch here. Not even particularly even, but it looks better than it did, I suppose. And then it will have all of this filled in with the backs of our sashiko stitches. So I think I will break this experiment down into multiple videos because we're already pushing like 10 minutes here. But I'm going to next trace on the pattern that we'll try for this side. And I think the act of breaking these down into panels that are square with themselves will be smart for this entire project. So probably I'll move on from doing both of the handles to me figuring out a way to tack down the lining along this side seam on both sides. And then we also have this kind of like almost 3D seam just right here that makes it turn a corner crisply. But it does the same exact seaming on the lining, because this was actually meant to be the outside of the bag. Again, I fail to understand how that is a good design or a good idea. I looked them up. This bag is called the Simplicity Tie-Dye DIY Hobo Bag. Again, this is supposed to be the outside. It makes no sense because you can only tie-dye the inside. And I mean, I guess you could see the tie-dye through this. I don't think that's how that works. But anyway, we'll stop this particular beginning to the video here. I just wanted to let you go through the process with me as I tried to find a way to find a new life for something I particularly was not a fan of. We can make this into something cool. Whether or not we like it and keep it, not the question. Whether or not we can make it into something better than it was, so that it being an ugly, horrible bag is just one step on its journey into becoming something cooler. That is the goal. And I think we've already started with that, because this is much less awful to start with, as you can actually see the panel of fabric. So I will see you in the next one. A shout out to Megan Helms and Megan Spells, two of my magnificent patrons. If you would like to come and stitch with me and the other Weaver Birds, please check out my links below. Please look for the next one by liking and subscribing. And if you're interested in any of the products I've shown you other than these horrible bags, because I do not recommend the bag, but any of the other stuff that I've talked about or shown you today, I do have my little affiliate links in the comments down below, or in the info box flippity thing. It's down there. So if you would be so kind as to follow me, I would be eternally grateful. And I will see you in the next one, when hopefully I will have this guy all traced up and ready for us to go. See you in the next one. Bye.